Alright guys, and welcome back to the Saints View, the channel for some content for a quick match review for me as it finished. Wolves 1, Southampton 1 at Molineux. Good point all round for Southampton, but you can't help but feel like possibly they could have taken more. I think it was quite an even game throughout. I've just finished doing the live match watch along. Really enjoyed watching the game. Well, did I? It was a bit dead. If you saw it on a stream or if you were there today, you'd know that, yeah, I don't know. I think both sides lack quality at times, but what stood out for me was the fact that players who have been a bit weaker of late did better. I think ultimately, the likes of Vestergaard, who came back in after loads of criticism. Who else? I thought Gunn was better, made a good save leading up to the goal that got ruled up by VAR. We'll go on to that in a minute. Thought Højbjerg was better today as well. Ward-Prowse, yeah, still not at the races, unfortunately. But the first half, I think, was a bit quiet. But it definitely felt like there was quality from Saints and the possibility to get something from the game. You know, I think Wolves would be disheartened to go and beat Man City 2-0 away and then draw 1-1 at home with Southampton, and it's definitely the fair result, I feel. But not really anything created. Bertrand hit the side netting, and Ings had a shot saved by Patricio from a tight angle. Yeah, besides those chances, Southampton really didn't have much of a sniff. As for Wolves, we talked about a match of the day. They had a goal ruled out by VAR. Yet again, Southampton have an opponent who have a goal ruled out by VAR. Raul Jimenez taps it in after Wolves player's shot was saved well, I thought, by Angus Gunn, but it's empty net for Jimenez. He also scored before tapping it into an empty net, but that was just offside. Oh no, sorry, he had a handball, but the VAR ruled out the goal through offside. It was a very tight decision, but going into half-time 0-0, you've got to be happy with that. Ryan Bennett had to come off quite early for Wolves, and they brought on Vallejo, possibly making his Premier League debut. I'm not too sure if he has played for Wolves yet, but he looked a liability, looked quite shaky, and we saw that Ings had a really good chance very early on in the second half after Vallejo's back pass, and then it was Ings's goal that came from a Vallejo back pass, played it back, intercepted, headed towards Ings, who took it past Cody, who was really poor in that position, and just an easy finish for him to make it 1-0. And you think at that point, you know, that's the quality we've been looking for all game. There's a possibility now that we can go and make it, maybe even make it 2, and then be a bit more comfortable and sit a bit more tight. But that's not really what happened. We looked shaky. Wolves turned up the pressure and eventually won a penalty. I think it's a penalty. Some people have said it's not. We'll have to watch it back. I've only seen it back once or twice. But personally, I think it's a penalty from Højbjerg. He shouldn't really be in that position anyway. Jimenez is in front of him. He should be goal side. And Jimenez puts it away. Was it? I can't remember who he fouled. But anyway, Jimenez scored the penalty. And then after that, there wasn't really anything. Ward-Prowse had a good free kick saved by Patricio. We had a couple of corners. They had a couple of corners. But no one's really seemed to turn up the pressure to go and win the game and show that extra bit of quality. You know, Wolves have made all 3 of their substitutions, I think, before the hour mark, whereas Saints took about, I think, until the 75th minute to make their first substitution, which was Boufal coming on for Valery, which meant that Ward-Prowse had to go to right wing back. So that wasn't really the right substitution. Bring Boufal on was, but I think taking off Valery, he had a decent game, I thought, as did Bertrand as well. Probably wasn't the right decision. And then bring on Danzo to then bring in that right back role, and then bring Ward-Prowse back into the midfield by taking off Romeo. I just think that's ridiculous. And then we didn't even make a third substitution. So Adams didn't come on, Long didn't come on, Armstrong didn't come on. All these players that could have added a bit more quality in the attack, who didn't. And, you know, against a tiring Wolves defence who was shaky all game. So, yeah, it's hard to feel like there wasn't an opportunity to go and win it, but you got to take the point. I got my prediction right. Go check the preview out if you don't believe me. But all in all, good result. We're still 17th in the table, so not much has changed in that department. But it's a better performance, especially defensively, going into that Leicester game, where we're going to need everyone to defend well, because they've won again. So attack-wise, you know, we're going to have a really tough evening on Friday night. But you know, if we defend like that, who knows? We could get something. Not too sure, though. But, yeah, improved. Like I say, some players who have been poor all season look better today. Maybe the international break was what we needed. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Do make sure you like the video. If you have enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new. Let us know your thoughts on the game. Was it poor from Hasenhüttl to make his substitutions late and then not even put a third one on? Do you think that was a pretty even game, or do you think there was something there for Southampton to go and get all 3 points? Give us your opinions, and we'll see you very soon.